Gas prices rise and dinner plates lose weight, and there ain't no light rail on the south side. No plans for one either. Elicio listens to his kindergarten teacher read The Little Engine That Could, while his father builds light rail tracks that will never reach his own neighborhood. Elicio's father was born in Sinaloa. Slave does not always mean plantation. Once, it meant Irish and Italian, German, Polish, Chinese, and Mexican. Once, it meant Ellis Island, 11,000 people in a day inspected like dogs for disease, tossed back in the ship with any sign of infection, families cut in half, their stomachs empty like the eyes of mothers who stood on the shores of the Mississippi, watching their sons, their daughters, carried off by some other master, wondering when Miss Tubman might come back around and show them where the underground tracks were hidden. It is American, the blood in it, the pattern of train tracks set like prison bars. This is how Elicio's father prays at night, staring through bars that hang from his body a window, because he understands that poor economy equals deportation. In the year 2050, Latinos will become the majority of the population. This makes politicians shake in their boots, because they understand that at the turn of the 20th century, there are more Irishmen in New York City than in Dublin. And a few decades after they closed Ellis Island, JFK, Irish, Catholic, grandson of immigrants, was elected president of the United States. Can't you see that Kennedy sounds a little too much like Contreras or Cruz or Chavez? So conservatives shout, "Stop the invasion," with JFK stamps on their postage. It is American to use people and dispose of them during the Depression. Thousands of people with Spanish last names and dark features, most of which were born here in the United States, were stuffed into railroad cars and deported by force. Mothers detained at the grocery store, screaming for their children, "Please, I was born here. Please, I was born here." The identification tossed in the dirt by a man with a baton. Trains carried them south. It is the same story now in this recession. 29,000 deportations. You know it's bad when the greatest country on earth is too greedy to feed its own slaves. Immigration is America's new favorite noose. But the problem has always been Elicio, the sons and daughters of slaves, those who know little of Africa or Mexico, so train tracks are built for them, so they understand what side of the tracks they're from, what ghetto wasteland they're destined to die inside. Build them prisons and schools that work like prisons, so they're more likely to transition into a penitentiary than a university. Give them books and more books, but do not include names like Malcolm X, Ruben Salazar, Rodolfo Gonzalez. These names cannot compare to George Washington's cherry tree. Elicio will understand what is American by the sheriff's zip ties, by the tears on his father's face, by the shame in that moment when the man with the baton walks up to him and describes the train that will carry his father out of his life for good, by making reference to a children's story, saying, "Remember, boy, he thought he could, you think you can." And one day, if Elicio is lucky enough to understand why there ain't no light rail on the south side, he will take that book and rewrite it.